Today we're going to talk about the guy in the picture, the little guy in the picture, and maybe you have spotted the text. This is Jim Carrey. And recently the whole world is talking about who showed up recently to the French Awards is not Jim Carrey. And I looked a little bit into it, and I was a bit surprised. I'm like, oh, I feel something. I don't know exactly what I'm feeling. I don't want to make up my mind before digging deeper. So that's what I decided to do. I'm not here to tell you what is the truth because I don't know. Nobody knows. The truth is it's what people say, that when people say that they own the truth, that they know the truth, what usually we refer to is that we have an angle, a perspective, an opinion. We see things from a certain angle and we think like that's the truth, but the truth is reality. It's what it is. It's like God. So I'm definitely not that. So all I can say here is I'm going to do the research. I'm going to ask questions to Claude, Gemini, Grok, ChatGPT. I'm going to review some of the footage. I'm going to, towards the end of the video, I'm going to tell you my opinion. But I'm going to give you a definite opinion. I'm not going to be one of these people who, there is like a fork in the road. You should choose this or that. And at the end of the video, when everyone is asking for an answer, they are going to be like, well, it depends. If you prefer this, you should go this way. If you prefer that, you should go this way. Kind of like ChatGPT, very politically correct, very diplomatic kind of answer. No, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. Like, if you ask me what I would bet on, towards the end of the video, after I have done all the research and this, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. But at the end of the day, whatever I tell you, it's just my opinion. Also, I want to add this. I love Jim Carrey. And it's not me. Everyone loves Jim Carrey. And I grew up with him. So then I've seen his movies since he was young. And I've seen his face thousands of times. And not just his face, but him in different situations, different interviews, different events at different times, different stages of life. And, I've seen them many, many times. But this is not really why you should listen to this video, because many people know Jim Carrey and he is a famous actor and everyone loves him. And I would say that what I bring to the table, what I bring to this video is my experience with working with people. So if you search for my name, you find me on Fiverr. I do life coaching. And, well, don't take it from me, but if you read my reviews from actual clients, people who actually pay me money to help them, to support them, to achieve something or to, wake up. Many of my clients say that, well, he knows a lot about self-deception and tells me the truth. And go read it. I'm not going to say more. I'm just telling you, like, okay, why you should stick around. That's it. I'm here to find the truth, or like a perspective that is closer to truth, right? Not the truth with capital T, because that would be arrogant for me to claim, but I'm trying to get closer to the truth. Anyway, now let's get into what is this about? Like, really, for people who don't know this, maybe you do, but just quickly, let's see what this is about. Let me move this. Why there is no audio? Sorry.
Awards in Paris looking a bit different.
Okay, one more time. One more time. This time with luck, okay?
Jim Carrey wants people to stop saying he has a clone. Jim Carrey shut down the wild rumors after showing up at the César Awards in Paris looking a bit different. Fans on X went off, claiming everything from plastic surgery to a clone attending for him. His team and the awards organizers confirmed it was really him, just out of retirement and flashing that classic Carrey charm.
Okay. I'm going to watch it one more time. First, let's clarify something. I don't know exactly where Jim Carrey wants the fans or people not to say that that was a clone. I don't know where. I even searched for his Twitter profile, like X profile, and there is no official profile. I didn't find. There is only one profile that has 20,000 followers, and this is like a fan profile. So I don't know exactly what this person is referring to. I don't know, but I don't really see Jim Carrey telling people, stop calling me a clone. Here is why. Well, first, if you watch his recent videos, I mean past months recently, but before this otherwise radical change, you would see that he always said, I'm a character, I don't exist. I even can play to you a video. Let's play this one.
Don't exist. So they're all characters that I've played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish.
And I want you, as you listen to the words, I want you to also watch his, more like the vibe, like the way he talks, like his whole persona, because later I'm going to point to some things that I've noticed, and then we can see how that looks like, that juxtaposition.
Including any of those things, they're all characters. Jim Carrey was a less intentional character, right? Because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character. I played the guy that was free from concern so that people who watched me would be free from concern. I don't exist. So,
yeah, okay, so then the same person, I don't think that would actually lash out at people, or at least, you know, fight back against the idea that this is a clone. Well, he played a lot of characters and he knows this very well. That would be like the first thing that really doesn't make sense. Let's watch also this one.
It's not our world.
None of this is real?
Nope.
So you're just passing
We don't
through.
matter. We don't matter.
It's not our world. Like, do you understand it? He said basically two things in there. It's not our world and we don't matter. All right, I would assume that when he says we don't matter, the we is about us people, we collectively. But it's not our world. That's a bit strange, because in the context of I'm talking about us people, it's not our world, we people. To say that, it's a bit strange. It's a bit strange. Like, what do you mean? First of all, the interviewer, I wish I would be there, but the interviewer, I guess she was more in the celebrity kind of type of interview. If I would be there, I would be like, what do you mean by that? It's not our world. What do you mean? Like, well, tell us more. And yeah, that's all that we got. But you can see, for example, now, which is Jim Carrey after this change, or whoever this is, again, you can see how different this person talks, sounds, looks, and the whole vibe to them.
Yeah, then I watched everybody like talking 1,000 miles an hour up there receiving their awards, and I was like, I'm dead.
Like, it doesn't even sound like him. Like, it doesn't sound like him. Not to say that many people have pointed that his eyes look strange, like different, and to me it also looks strange. And to be honest, I would feel very bad if this is actually Jim Carrey, but how would we know exactly? Like what would constitute an actual proof that, yeah, this is Jim Carrey? What, like people around him, someone else testifying like, oh yeah, this is Jim Carrey? Like, how many times there have been instances where other people have falsely testified for someone else? Actually, there was like that famous case a few years ago, that guy, don't remember his name, he was claiming to be Satoshi Nakamoto. And then there was another guy, again, I don't remember his name, because usually history has a way of forgetting certain people. Although they are loud at times, they always end up being forgotten by the history. There was another guy who actually said like, yeah, I testified that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. And then the courts proved, and it was like a year-long investigation, like really sophisticated stuff, that proved that that was not Satoshi Nakamoto. So the person who actually said about them, well, it looks like they have an interest, because the moment when the courts proved, after the investigation and all of the work involved many people for many years, the person who testified said like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have believed him. I just like basically they backtracked on their own claim. So it's hard to actually know the truth. That's the point. You cannot really go like, oh, if this person who is close to them testifies that, yeah, this is the real person, that constitutes the truth. Not really, because even that can be falsified. people have their own biases and we have different interests and agendas, and that they might have that you are not aware of. And, you know, like, then how do you know the truth? So then, again, you can just make up your mind by trying to make an informed decision. Like, that's exactly what I'm trying to do today. So I don't think that you can do anything better than that. Okay, so again, the person doesn't sound like him. It looks roughly like him, but not really. But really, the biggest telltale that this looks like a completely different person is the whole vibe to them, the way they talk. Like Jim Carrey recently had a different vibe, and I'm going to show you.
Is that a gang sign? Have you,
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
You don't know. Jimmy Fallon doesn't know. David Letterman doesn't know.
We don't know.
All the comics and show business don't know what this is. Right? Yeah.
What is it?
Come on, Jimmy. Seriously, the time is up. People are hip to this kind of stuff. I'm here tonight to blow the lid off it, to be the whistleblower. I'm sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it. It's not our...
Well, what he is saying is not funny. Like, people are laughing, but it's not really funny. And even in this interview, where he says, like, it's not our world, that's not funny at all. He might be acting funny, as in, like, strange, but if you think about the implications of what he is actually saying, he means it, and there is some sort of truth behind it. Like, even if that chance would be anything but zero, that's scary. But again, nobody is asking him. Like, I find it so funny that nobody really got interested to say, like, wait, what do you mean? How come one of the most popular stars out there, loved by millions, nobody is really asking him deeper questions? They're interviewing him just like, oh, you enjoy here at the Oscars or this and that's it. But how about what he is saying? Why nobody pays attention to that? For me, that's strange. Like, that itself, if I would be there, I would be like, curious, at least curious. Do tell me more. Let's watch one more. Let's see this one.
How's life? Everything good?
You know, it's so beautiful. It really is, especially when I'm absent from it.
You feel like...
You see, he noted this. It's beautiful, especially when I'm absent from it, which basically means that there is some sort of level of disconnection. Like, he looks like dissatisfied with some aspects of his life, or life in general. That's how it looks like.
You're separated from the rest of the world and what's going on?
No, not separated at all. In fact, it's the exact opposite, you know.
And I want you to see his demeanor, like how he talks. Like, his whole vibe is very different than what you're going to see in the version that show up in Paris or in France.
Don't get me wrong, you know, Jim Carrey is a great character, and I was lucky to get the part. But I don't think of that as me anymore. You don't?
I don't think as that. He refers to his character as that. Something separate than me, something outside of me. That's why I don't no longer identify with that.
Not at all.
Not really, no. I used to be a guy who was experiencing the world, and now I feel like the world and the universe experiencing a guy.
So he is clearly a lot more spiritual. So this is definitely, there is a lot of self-awareness, and, you know, it looks like he had some sort of awakening, realizing the illusion, realizing how fleeting this whole experience is. And that is very profound in itself. But what I'm going to show you is that after this, the person who show up at the whatever in France at the awards that took this recent award had a very different outlook on life. It was almost like his 20-year-old version, but not really his 20-year-old version, more like a 20-year-old version that he's just excited to be there, and like someone is interviewing him, and I'm going to show you. Anyway, but let's go to see Jim Carrey since he was young. I found this video. I think it's nice. I cut the music because there is some music. I'm not sure if all the pictures are actually his because some of them look different, but again, this just adds to the confusion. This is him more, oh, recently. This is 10 years ago, more than 13 years ago. This is definitely not him at 61. That's absolutely, definitely, most absolutely, definitely. It must be like an AI version. I don't know. But this one, I think, yeah, it's pretty accurate, I would say. All right. This is him in 2025. We will take this, yeah? So now let's dig. Let's dig because it's time to see what exactly is strange. People oftentimes say that, oh, this is strange, but let's understand exactly what is so strange. It's because outside of just the aspect being, you know, looks like him, outside of that, everything else is different. And that's really important to note. Everything else is different. It doesn't talk like him. He doesn't have even the same voice. It doesn't have the same eyes and even the same vibe. Like it's a completely different person, right? So first I'm going to ask, let's understand what are the conspiracy theories out there. What are people saying so we understand exactly what do we work with, yeah? All right, so I'm going to actually, let me see if I can do this. Can I put the microphone here? Thank you. Got it. Possible or not possible? Well, yes, but okay. So, is it possible to open the microphone? I would like to understand in the recent conspiracy theories surrounding Jim Carrey, what are actually people saying? What are those main directions that people are voicing? Not very good expression, but we go with it. Let's see what people are saying, right? Because you see, I don't have to express myself perfectly so Claude understands me. Claude got it. Smart guy. Okay, there are several conspiracies. The clone, the obvious one, right? Body double theory, the big one right now. This is the freshest and the loudest. Yes. The theory spiraled further when drag artist and prosthetic specialist Alex Stone posted on Instagram saying, yeah, I know that thing that he posted like a mask something. Okay, the Illuminati exposing the elite theory. This is one that's been around much longer. It stems largely from a 2014 appearance. We watched that one on Jimmy Kimmel Live where Carrey made cryptic comments about TV presenters being managed by the government to distract people. This is get serious. Like he was, again, you remember he was making it like a joke, but this is serious. Like literally he was saying that all these TV presenters are being managed by the government to distract people, and flashed what some interpreted as Illuminati hand sign, that thing, right? Well, that's a serious thing. And that's literally him saying something about invisible powers, which is kind of true. It's kind of true. But, well, how anyone can know that there are invisible powers? It's because if you understand that you are a bigger power than an ant, so you can see ants and you can observe them, but they cannot observe you. You can understand them, they cannot understand you. You can affect their life, their habitat. You can put food, you can take food. I don't know. You can literally control every aspect of their life, mostly, even to the point where you can have full power to destroy them without them being able to do anything. And if you understand that which you are to like a bunch of ants could be something else higher than you that has the same level of power, the same level of invisibility, well, you understand that, well, you're not the highest force in the universe, so therefore must be other forces. It's just like logic. It's not like I'm not a genius, I'm just trying to tell you, like, well, that's kind of like obvious. So in that sense, he was saying something about higher forces, but more like made by people, right? So this is, I don't think he's talking something like God or God mode, but more like people, forces, groups, agendas, groups of interest, right? With a lot of power, but not really visible to the public, or their influence is invisible, which is not it's not a wild theory to think about. Like, it's not like people these days, they say things that, oh, this is a conspiracy theory. Like, yeah, it is a conspiracy theory until it's proven, but it's one that is highly probable. Just imagine that ants, we use this example, imagine that ants in their like nest and whatever, thousands of ants, whatever, underground, they have tunnels, and inside the ground they have like a room, like a hall, and they have public speaking events, and there is this ant, after the day of work is done, they picks up the microphone and says like, there is other powers outside of us, beyond the surface of the earth, there are people. Everyone, all the other ants would be like, oh, this guy is crazy, like what are you talking about? This is like a conspiracy theory. Well, it's not really a conspiracy theory. It's definitely not, but again, very hard to be proven, and that's the point. But one thing is that most of the conspiracy theories, not most, but, well, let's say some of them, they actually prove to be true. But one thing that I recommend, two things. First, I don't understand that I am I'm this delusional person that believes conspiracy theories. I don't. I am trying to bring a very rational presence to anything. Like, I'm skeptical, and I always try to do my research. I try to reflect. I try to understand. I'm not like, oh my God, yeah, absolutely, aliens are real and all that. I'm like, let's just like pause and use our mind. I try to use the God-given intelligence that we have and trying to make sense of the world and not really go too wild. But again, it's not too wild to say that there are higher forces. That's my whole point in here, okay? So next, the replaced after Catriona White death theory. There is also a theory that the supposed cloning happened after the death of his former girlfriend, Catriona White, who was found dead from a prescription drug overdose and suspected suicide in 2015. Some conspiracy believers tie his withdrawal from public life and perceived personality changes to this event. Well, again, that would be a good connection to make, because when important life events happen, yeah, people are going to definitely, they're going to change. When you are affected by important life events, you're going to change, and there's nothing wild about that. The cosmetic surgery speculation, while not exactly a conspiracy theory, it feeds the others. Plastic surgeon Dr. Jeffrey Spiegel, who has never treated Carrey, speculated that the actor had had Botox injections and possibly a facelift, nothing unnatural, eyebrow arching and cheek pulling. Some people see this as a mundane explanation, while others fold it into a broader replacement narrative. Okay, so it kind of looks like that's what we are doing. It's replaced by the other forces that didn't like what he was saying. That's one direction. Not so much like a conspiracy theory, just like having a plastic surgery, which it's really what is the first level of what's really being portrayed. Like the first case to check is like, is this like plastic surgery? Okay. So we're going to address them one by one. First, let's address I would say the easy one. Would this look like a plastic surgery? Let me just play this one more time.
Jim Carrey wants people to stop saying he has a clone. Jim Carrey shut down the wild rumors after showing up at the César Awards in Paris looking a bit different. Fans on X went off, claiming everything from...
Okay, so is it possible that this is a plastic surgery? Yeah, it is very possible. The plastic surgery possibility about this case is actually the most probable thing about it. Basically, for a person to have at his age a plastic surgery, that's the most probable cause. However, and this is where it gets interesting, Jim Carrey, if you remember, he was very much detached. He was in a stage of his life where he was detaching away from the illusion. Well, that seems like exactly the opposite. Why would that Jim Carrey, who would say like, well, it doesn't matter, it's just like a character, it's like, it's not real and all of that, why would this person go back into trying to play a new character, like trying to, facelift themselves in order to do what? Like, it seems like the same person heading in a completely different direction than what we have recently seen. And that is really where the contradiction gets weird. Because again, plastic surgery, very possible, but people don't change their life direction. They don't change their motivations. They don't change their beliefs so easily. And that is, for me, so far, the biggest contradiction. The biggest contradiction is that, yeah, people at his age in Hollywood, whatever, sometimes they do plastic surgery, but Jim Carrey was not really the person that would actually do something like that. Like, it looks very strange. It looks like really he would have no reason to do that, especially with the recent changes in he had literally, if you watch his recent interviews before this, it looked like he really had like a change of hearts about life and the outlook on life and the illusions that we are playing, and life having this illusionary element to it. Well, a person who realizes that, it's least likely that they're going to now all of a sudden get like a plastic surgery, like a heavy one, and all of a sudden also they change their vibe. They're no longer like grounded, they're no longer calm and collected, but all of a sudden they're going like, I'm going to show you. Let me see what else, because
plastic surgery to a clone.
I want to show you the vibe
Attending for him. His team and the awards organizers confirmed it was really him. Just
he looks like he's so excited to be there, but that's not the excitement that we have seen recently in him.
Out of retirement and flashing that classic Carrey charm. Jim Carrey wants people to...
Let me try something else. I don't know what was that thing with the eye. Should we go? Did you notice 3 changes? Yeah, let's see.
Did you notice the 3 changes in Jim Carrey at the 2026 César Awards ceremony?
He is so excited to be there, but again, in what I've shown you here, he was not very excited. He was very grounded. He was very, like things were changing for him. And this looks...
No one realized
And by the way, this doesn't look like in look at this picture. I swear it doesn't look like him. It looks like a person that looks like Jim Carrey. If I would see this person on the street, I'll be like, oh my God, you look very much like him. I know you're not him, but I can see that you look very much like him. But between that to actually believing that this is the person, it's a bit strange.
That it was actually not Jim Carrey, but his body double. At the 51st César Awards
He's so excited to be there. This is not Jim Carrey. It was like recently, man, like, oh, this makes me feel like
ceremony, Jim.
Like did you see that smile? Did you see that smile?
The 51st César.
Like, it looks like he's like 25 and he is just so successful. Recently has been discovered, had some very good movies, and life is great for him. And he looks like here, like he's before everyone knows that he is so talented. The whole world considers him like a celebrity. It looks like he's excited about the journey ahead. But the Jim Carrey that we have seen recently, he is very grounded. He is not
In fact, it's the exact opposite. You know, don't get me wrong, you know, Jim Carrey is a great character, and I was lucky to get the part. But I don't think of that as me anymore.
Like, who is this person? Like, it looks like, because that was before this. So then how come now all of a sudden he got very super excited to be on camera and be with the illusions and with the characters? Like, who is this? Like, I'm like, wait.
Star Award.
Look at this. Like, he has such a good energy. But again, I love the energy, but who is this?
Ceremony.
Like, man, like, okay. And some people might say, but wait, man. Like, wait, this is Jim Carrey. He played characters his entire life. So he's playing a new character, right? Well, yeah, but you see the way his life is unfolding, it cannot really go backwards. You cannot really, after you have seen something. If you watch his interviews and what it means that he had awakened, he realized something. Well, you cannot unsee what you have saw. And that's why this looks like a turn in time, which would not make any sense. Like, yeah, would Jim Carrey would he actually be capable of playing all of this? Like, this is him, and all the energy and all the vibe and all the changes are him? Yes, Jim Carrey would definitely be the person to do this. Yes, and that's why this is interesting, because it makes us confused. Like, yeah, but is it him? My point about this is that, yeah, he would be capable, but this is not how life works. You cannot really forget. You cannot really, well, you can forget, but you cannot really unsee what you have saw. And again, recent interviews that I show you, it looks like he saw something. Saw in the sense of realizing something. Well, how come now he looks like he is before the realization? That again doesn't make sense.
Jim Carrey's appearance instantly caused a huge stir. Many fans said they couldn't recognize him at all. So what happened? First, Jim Carrey's eyes have always been deep brown, especially during the era of The Truman Show and The Mask. Those brown eyes carried a unique charm, looking lively and full of energy. However, at this ceremony,
man, like, it's just, it gives me a feeling. It feels weird, man. It feels weird to look at this.
His eyes appear.
Like, look at the eyes. Like, the eyes are window to the soul. God, I need to, okay, stick to the truth. Okay, even if it doesn't look like, okay, we are going to continue to search for the truth, because, okay, for what I'm seeing right now, it's like, oh.
Appeared blue. Under the lights, they even looked almost transparent, which appeared highly unnatural.
Man, like, that looks like a person that enjoys Hollywood, and he spoke against Hollywood. Like, what's going on? Like, this is strange.
Secondly, Jim Carrey abandoned his signature neat short hair, opting for a messy, artistically styled long hair instead. And anyone familiar with...
And even this, did you see this? Where he's acting like this? He's the entertainer, but a person who, like, he looked to be before this, doesn't need to entertain anymore. Like, this looks like Jim Carrey in his 20s when he was making all the faces and all of that, and he tries to put up a show, he tries to perform, because it's like his career is unfold, like it's developing. He is before the takeoff, right? Well, but after the takeoff, Jim Carrey would not do this. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
For a messy, artistically...
Like, why would he do this? Like, it doesn't make sense. This is Jim Carrey at 60. He have seen it all. He has done it all. He looked back and said, like, it's all an illusion. None of this matters. Well, how come he is so excited about something that he realized doesn't matter? And that is really a good question to ask. If I would really try to see where is the answer is definitely only if we find an answer to this question. How come? Like, how come all this change? Now he goes back. It's like...
styled long hair instead. And anyone familiar with Jim Carrey knows that he had publicly criticized this kind of style in the past. This clearly contradicts the person he used to be. Finally, in recent years, Jim Carrey has gradually distanced himself from Hollywood, rarely attending public events. In contrast, the awardee on stage was extremely outgoing, frequently interacting with the media, occasionally... Did you notice?
All right. So, yeah, well, that's strange. Let's continue with the... conspiracy theories. We addressed, or I addressed, the possibility that this is just a surgery. Surgery could do that to the face, but surgery doesn't do that to the personality. A surgery is only to the skin, to the face, to the appearance. It's not really, it doesn't really go as deep to really change the whole person and just now become like their younger version just because they look younger. I don't think so. Because yeah, you might say there is a connection in there. Like, okay, now he looks younger, so then he feels younger, so then he is again excited. That might make some sense, but it doesn't go, like, you cannot really unsee. You cannot really unsee what you saw. Like, the realizations don't disappear like this. We progress through life in this linear, well, yeah, it's, you can say, a linear manner in which you cannot really go back. You cannot really go back to, if I would want to be as stupid as I was in my 20s, I could not be that stupid. I can be stupid in different ways, but not in that way. I cannot really go back to that. I cannot really be something that I'm not, that I've already matured. I've grown. Like, all the experiences have changed me, and experiences change us, and you cannot really take that experience that you had and just be the person before the experience. I don't think so. That's really weird. So, you know, surgery or not, I think after this research, I'm going to end up with more questions than answers, and damn, that would be a shame, but it looks like that. Okay, so let's address the other one. Okay, let's address this one. They say Illuminati, the bigger forces, the invisible forces, replacing him because he would speak against that, or he would speak of that. Like, he was trying to warn us about this. Okay, so let's address this. Is it possible? Well, we live in a world where things that we used to think they are impossible, more and more they become possible. Like, I'm going to just state the truth. I try to stay away from conspiracies, like just claiming things, but I'm going to try to speak the truth as I know. More and more things that we used to believe that they're impossible, they become more and more possible. Okay? Just in my lifetime, I've experienced the internet, the blockchain, artificial intelligence, self-driving cars, robotics, and all that is developing. And that's just the beginning. Diseases that when I was young, they looked like impossible to solve, and they would be like, like they would not be good if you get them. They just, we found cures, and yeah, we basically perform magic. What other people would used to consider magic, that's exactly what we did. We did miracles. What would look like miracles now become like normal, like, of course. But it was not always like this. So in that sense, again, speaking truth, first level principles, would it be possible that if there are forces, invisible forces of people who with a lot of power that would want to, I don't know, replace the person, but give, you know, kind of like the same face? Would this be possible to be an attempt, like a pretty unsuccessful attempt, because it's not really exactly him as he was, but it looked very different and his vibe is different, right? Could this be an attempt? Well, I guess so. I guess, like, look at, for example, and I'm just discussing the possibility. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying, is it possible? Yeah, it is possible. That chance is definitely not a zero. That chance is definitely not a zero. Okay, so maybe you have seen, I have a video, I reacted silly to, there is this show, CES 2026, where different companies come, they display their technologies, robotics and all of that. And there were some companies I've seen that would display, you know, robots looking like human-like robots, like literally they would mimic the texture of the face, the skin, all of that, right? Well, this person here, that looks like something like that, to be honest. But again, am I saying that this is a robot? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, is it possible? Yes. Would it be possible for, let's answer to this question. Would it be possible for, how can I say this? People with power, would they be bothered by someone speaking about them or against them? Would they be bothered? I'm like, yeah, well, anyone, like, forget about people in power. People with no power, they are bothered when other people talk about them, they talk smack. And we don't like it. So then let's just get this a bit further. Speaking of truth, right? Well, if you get bothered when someone else says something about you that you don't like, and you would, you know, directly or indirectly, consciously or unconsciously, you would like them to not say, to basically stop saying those things. Okay, you following me so far? Is it possible that if there are higher forces, which most probably they are, because, you know, forces and consciousness and life is layered into complexity layers, right? Is it possible that there is something more complex than us? Is it possible that there are other people who are just more advanced than us, or just with more power? Yeah, it's possible. Okay, so would it be possible that they would be bothered by someone speaking about them kind of indirectly, but about them generally? Yeah, it's possible. Okay, so would it be possible that they would try to do something about it? It's also possible. Okay, so we are only in possibilities, right? So then so then now let's say that if they would try, are there any advances in technology? Because we would have to talk about technology in some sort of shape or form, right? Are there any advancements in technology right now that would make this possible, like replacing a person? I'm like, there are many technologies. Like, first of all, materials have evolved, and now, you know, it's capable. Companies do all sorts of like materials that look like human skin. Like, we got very good at that. Okay, so then what else? Well, many, like there are many, you can research. I'm not inventing this. There are many technologies that would make it possible to some degree. That's all I'm saying, possible to some degree. Okay, so if that would be possible, and these people, generally speaking, would be technically bothered, would that means that they would actually try to replace potentially this person? I guess so. You see, it's not really rocket science to just think about things. And I'm like, I don't know the truth. Like, really, I don't know, and nobody knows the truth. But my God, just like you, I'm watching this and I'm like, what's going on with the world? I'm trying to figure out things just like you. Okay, so right now, I think that this is mostly the conspiracy theories. That's what this is about. So we have discussed about, you know, what really is going on. It's strange. It's confusing. Possibilities are endless here. Yes, this could be just like a surgery but it's unlikely because people don't change like that, and this doesn't look like the direction, like the way that he behaves in these new videos. It doesn't look like the person that was going in the direction that we know he was going. So then that is a bit strange. Okay, so what do I think? Let me see if how much time do I have? Oh my God, I have to finish because I'm already 5 minutes left. Okay, so we have to wrap up. We didn't get much. I have a limit on this goddamn card, 53 minutes, that's all. So I have to buy a bigger card. Okay, that's what you get for now, whatever. I would actually, what I would do next, and maybe, who knows, maybe if I feel like I'm going to maybe do another video in which I'm going to go and have time to ask Claude, ask Gemini. I promised you this. I didn't get time. My apologies, but it is what it is, man. So I'm going to try to give you a definitive answer, and then I'm going to try to tell you what to watch for. What to watch for in order for you to get your own answer first. Because we don't have much time, if I would bet right now, this is literally, it's very risky for me to say, risky, it's not really risky, but it's more like I risk looking stupid, which I have no problem because I'm a human being, so I don't claim to be, like perfect. But if I would tell you what I think, again, this is not the truth, I don't claiming that, I don't know the truth, but if I would be forced to bet if this is Jim Carrey or not, but before I tell you this, because I know that if I tell you this, you are going to close the video instantly. Let me actually say one more thing, and then we end with this, which is very important. Here is what to watch for. Because this is not me telling you the truth. I don't know the truth. I'm just figuring out, and I'm also having some fun. But here is what you should search for, or what to look for to find like a truthful answer, to get closer to the truth. First of all, I would assume that he has to have some presence. I didn't find him on Twitter, which is strange, but okay. I know he wants to stay away from all of this, but find different instances, different places where you might see his appearance. Maybe he is writing something, I don't know. He has an interview. Watch what happens after this. Like, go and consume more of him, and then compare that with the version that we knew before this, and watch that as well, and then make your own mind. Like, step back and go like, what do I think? What do I think? Because people have been very confused about this, and yeah, I totally understand it, but the truth here is more like everyone has to do their own research and, like adopt a position, or simply say, I don't know, which is also fine. But in order for you to understand or to get closer to the truth, just try to get more information and then reflect on all of that and see what makes sense for you. Okay, the moment that you have been waiting for, what is my opinion? What do I think? After all of this, I wish I would say something different. I wish I would just not sound crazy, but I don't think this is him. I don't think it's him. People don't change their personality like that. Yeah, you can play a role, but you cannot erase a realization. You cannot erase awakening. You cannot really turn back time.